Hey, Pastor Josh here. We're reading Acts chapter 2, verses 43 through 47. Here's the result of the early church being devoted to those four things: to the apostles' teaching, to prayers, to the fellowship, and to the Lord's Supper. God is doing a work in this early church. And so let's see what happens. And awe came upon every soul. There was this worshipful awe. They were so enamored at what God was doing. They were full of awe and full of worship of God. And it said it came upon every soul. There was just a sweetness and of seeing God work and move. And then it says many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And I have this as an attitude for us to change. We need to realize that God does work. God works in mysterious and mystical ways. And we don't need to be totally against it. We need to have our eyes open and see what the Lord may be doing. Sometimes we can be so against God doing some sort of miracle or doing something that's not normal that we end up not enjoying God do a miraculous work of bringing people to Himself, of showing up when He can only show up. So we need to remember that while this period in church life, miracles and wonders and signs were far greater in number because it was the initiation of the church. It was the initiation and the growing of the church. But we need to remember that it doesn't mean that God is no longer miraculous. He still does wonderful, miraculous things. And we should have our eyes open to those things. Don't think it would be in the way that some of our brothers and sisters and perhaps even not brothers and sisters that practice gifts and wonders and such. But God indeed is miraculous, and we need to make sure that we are open and having our eyes open to seeing how God may be working. So many wonders, many signs were being done through the apostles, and all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. Here's an example for us to follow. They were distributing the proceeds to all. There was generous hearts. When you are full of the Holy Spirit, when you are full of awe, when God is working in your life, you will have a generous heart. And this is the way the early church was operating. People would be selling their things, the excess things they did not need. They would give it to the church, and the church would distribute it to whoever needed anything. And we have a similar process that we even do here. We have benevolence funds that we set up for members, for our community as well. And so while we can't eliminate poverty, we do attempt to help when we can and as we can. So, good example for us to follow. Verse 46, and day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts. So you see it again, see that generous word. But notice an example to follow in their homes. They're having church in their homes. They weren't just doing it in the public meeting place. They were so in love with God that they were essentially having church. They were having small groups in their homes. A good example for us to follow. They received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved. I think it's a good promise for us to claim. The Lord is saving people, and the question for us, for me, for you, for Central Baptist Church, is are we going to be a part of God's saving work? Are we going to be involved in the places that God is already working? Mr. Blackaby, Henry Blackaby, really encouraged us to make sure that we are looking to see where God is working and then get involved where He is. When you get involved where God is already working, you can rest assured that you are going to be involved in a wonderful work, and you're going to get to see God work in a wonderful way. I pray that has been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.